Okay, very good. Hi, Irna. Thanks for
Hi,
joining us today.
Keisha.
We're really excited to have you with us today to share your story and give our viewers the opportunity to get to know you a bit more beyond your professional self. Just for introduction's sake, Irna is a human rights defender for the Aceh province of Indonesia. Some of you may know, but Aceh is the only province in Indonesia that practices Sharia law. Is that right, Irna?
Yep.
Yep. And for work, Irna works as a general manager of a social enterprise for sustainable coconut farming. And in her free time, she works closely with the Communication Forum of the Special Needs Community and the Young Women's Unit organizations as a program supervisor, where she supports the rights of women and people with special needs in Aceh. Irna is motivated by the fact that many disabled people in Aceh experience sexual violence, but they have no or little protection from the various NGOs that exist in the province. And she wants to help change that and ensure that these individuals have access to justice. So maybe let's do a bit of a quick introduction. Irna, could you share a brief introduction to yourself, where you are from, and what do you do for work?
Okay. Hi, Keisha. My name is Irna. Yeah, you already know that. And I'm from Aceh. I have background in academic degree as like economic. I have economic and finance. Um, but I think at first when I did my bachelor degree, I imagined like I will work in a stock market company or something like that because I thought it was cool. And
Yeah.
then and then I went to Germany to continue my study in master degree, also in economics and finance. And then I was thinking to join big companies. I was, yeah, I still have that kind of mindset back then. And then after I finished my master degree and I come back to Aceh, I wanted to work in Indonesia at that time. So yeah, after that I just want to go back to my family first, and then I joined a local organization in Aceh, and then I think my point of view was kind of like different because when I engage with the local community, with people with disabilities and women in the grassroots community, I feel like I really want to help them, and uh, it's more like uh, I don't know, maybe you also experience that, but I feel like it's more related to me rather than talking to like people with high education or people in top position, because sometimes they don't really understand the situation in the grassroots. And then I feel more comfortable working with them. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, after that, and then I just decided to work to support women organization and disability organization in Aceh. I didn't even think to work in stock market anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe when I joined the local CSO and they asked me about my education background, people expect me to have like social background or something uh, like social work or sociology. But when I told them that I have economics and finance background, and they were like, "What?" But yeah, yeah, I think
Probably wonder why you want to do this, right? Why you
yeah,
work in a big company
yeah,
in a big city?
hmm
Um,
yeah. But I think it's really interesting when I already did all the math thing during my education step, and then I think it's easier for me when I do the research about social issues, because when I get the data, it's easy for me to analyze the data, and
Yeah.
it's really helped me a lot.
So actually, on that topic, I'm glad you brought up um, the kind of skill sets that you have from your previous
Mm-hmm.
in banking and finance, and how it's transferable or applicable to what you're doing now. Um, in addition to the data analysis kind of skill sets that you have, do you think there's any other skill sets that you had from your previous work life that are very transferable or important in what you're doing right now?
Yeah. Yeah, when I finished my bachelor degree, I work in Caritas Czech Republic, but based in Aceh after tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
I did a very small thing, only helped the finance team to have like documentation for the finance report, but I learned a lot from them. So it helped me to set a budget for my project and set a clear budget for the research project too.
Okay. Okay. And what do you think keeps motivating you to keep fighting for the rights of well, not just women in general, but specifically what you're doing on, right? What you're working on, the
Mm-hmm.
project that you're working on with Natasha for people with unique needs, special needs in Aceh, and who are victims of sexual violence. What motivates you every day to keep fighting for their justice?
Yeah, I think um, because I already know what a good situation looks like, and then I know that something's not right when I see the injustice to women or people with disabilities, and like because I really working close with them, so I feel like it's my problem too.
Mhm.
Even it's not, I don't really know them personally, but I work really close with them, only several people though, but I already understand their difficulties, and like I know that everything could be better if other people understand
Mhm.
what they need to do, like for example about the access to justice.
Mhm.
So I think there are a lot of people can do if they care, or if they understand, or they know how to change it. Because sometimes people care, people know that things could be better, but they don't have the tools. So they just do it like other people do. So yeah, that's why I think it's really important for me to bring all the aspect that I get from international community local um, to the local activities or the government. They People in Aceh, they don't. I mean, there are a lot of people who can speak English, but maybe only 20% who can really speak English and attend the international training, get the knowledge, and like those people sometimes don't really engage with the people in the grassroots community. It's more like top level people, like
Yeah.
people at universities, like the activists, but they don't really engage with the people with disabilities or conflict victim. So yeah, they keep the knowledge for themselves. But yeah, that's also one of several reasons that motivate me to keep pushing those local communities and women rights activists. Yeah, so they can get the knowledge from the international level, even though they cannot speak English.
Yeah. Okay. And so, I guess that is one part of knowledge sharing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having local activists or NGOs learn from the international community who probably have more structured, more standards
Yes.
in line with international law, for instance. Um, on a more light-hearted and fun note, is there maybe any book that you're reading right now or in the past that you'd like to share with the audience? Maybe it's a that is related to this field of work and that has really inspired you or opened your mind to to the way you want to do things on the ground.
Well, actually, I don't really read book that's related to my field of work. Usually, I read article or paper or newspaper, and but when I was in high school, I did read a book. Uh, I just found out that it actually they adapted from a movie, but it's a really good book for me when I was in high school. It's called Paid Forward. It's about young kid who want to be to do good, and he expect that when he do something good to someone, and then that person will be good to other people. So it's more like not really a butterfly effect, but it's like engaging other people to do good, and then it's like everybody will behave or being good to other people. Yeah, I think it's as a teenager that book really affect me, and I learned a lot from that book. But for my field of work itself, I usually just read report from the UN, or I read news, like
You have
for
like
example.
a
Yeah.
daily, like every day, do you have like a routine that, only websites that you go to keep up with what's happening in this
It's
national?
not daily, but yeah, I usually do that, and I keep, like for example, I just read the case of R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's that I know, like in Indonesia, that also happened when popular person do something like that, and then the police just keep denying it, and that in the end it will change someday. So I still believe that it will change in Indonesia or in our court system too.
Are you agreeable with the verdict that he received? The
Like
outcome?
30
Yeah,
years.
3 years.
Not really. I think it should be longer than that. Yeah, but at least it's a step, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, on the topic of rights, human rights, women's rights,
Mm-hmm.
I'm based in Washington, D.C. in the U.S. And I don't know if you're following the news, but in the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
abortion rights have been,
Yeah. I also follow that news. Yeah.
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 So, as a woman living here, it's kind of almost taking us backwards 20, 30 years.
Yes.
Women have-
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, so
Uh,
sometimes you feel, you're living um, in a developed country, a first world country, but there's still a lot of these challenges and fight and
mm-hmm.
pitfalls that you have to face as a woman. Um,
Yeah.
and the work that you do is very the fruits of your labor, for instance, I think you only get to read them in a very long term, right? It's not it's a long process to achieving what you
Yes.
want to achieve. And sometimes it can be quite discouraging, I imagine. Um,
Mm-hmm.
has there been any life changing experience that has helped to motivate you, in addition to the books that you read, or in addition to, you mentioned what motivates you is being on the ground and interacting with the victims themselves. And any one specific life changing experience that has helped to motivate you in your work?
Yeah. I think um, the only thing, I mean, well, there are a lot of things that motivate me, like seeing like really successful women um, presenting their project in conference. I think they're great, and I want to be like them.
Yeah.
And there's yeah, and I also can support young generation. Like there's also one of my friends, she helped me in research. She also have that kind of dream to help women and people with disability, and I kept supporting her. And we both know that it's a long journey, and I think as long as I don't give up on this thing, then I think she always can look up to me because she's much younger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And another one is my nephew, and I'm really proud of him now. uh, he studied in law degree, but it's more like Islamic law degree. Yeah, and he just finished his bachelor thesis, and he did research on the Sharia law about sexual and rape. Yeah, in Islamic court. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really interesting. I read his research, and yeah, I think it's great, and I want to support him in that path. And I think it's really interesting to see that my nephew like to discuss that thing to me,
Yeah.
even though in Aceh it's not really popular for men who study law to go to that path. Usually people just want to be a lawyer, but regular lawyer, or want to be a judge, but just regular judge. They don't really want to make any difference.
Do you think you inspired him, or the work that you do is kind of motivated him to explore that path of his
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
believe so. Because whenever I come to my sisters, he always talk about that to me, and then he share the experience in the classroom. That there are some professor who are really good too, but there's also professor who don't even care about that issue.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. And maybe just one last question. Do you have any kind of last final words of wisdom or advice for aspiring or existing uh, human rights activists who are focused on women's rights, but who also there are those who are also focused on what we do people with special needs. Um, any advice you have for them to continue pursuing this field and working towards equal access, equality, basically?
Yeah, sure. Especially for people in developing country, because people in developed country maybe their path to go like to being activist is more it's easier than people in developing country, because we have the resistance from the government. So it's very difficult. But if we do it together with other organization, with like for example, when we support women's right, we need to engage human right activists. We need to engage with disability right activists, or other activists too.
Mhm.
So when we're going to like when we go to the government office to do the advocacy, and then we are together supporting in the same issues, and the governments just sometimes they're more like agreeable
Mhm.
to that, like to our suggestion. So to make it easier for us, we need to do it with our other fellow activists, even though it's different issues.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you can't do it alone.
No, we can't.
In
Yeah.
partnership with other actors.
Hmm.
That's great advice, and I think it's probably applicable to other fields as well, right?
Yes.
Probably achieve more by working in partnership or collaboration with different stakeholders.
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much, Erna. I think um, we've learned a lot from you today, and I think this will be very useful to our viewers, our audience who are interested in this field. who may just need like a pick me up. They want to have a bit of motivation to continue this fight for for justice. So thank you very much. And
Thank you, Keisha.
yeah, and we look forward to hearing more about your work, your good work in Aceh soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
All
Irna.
right. Thanks,
See you.
Keisha. See you. Bye.
Bye.